Some people claim they remember another life. What if they're telling the truth? For more than a century, investigators, journalists, and researchers have come across stories that refuse to fit neatly into any explanation. Children have described families they never met. Adults have spent years chasing memories that shouldn't exist. Most of these stories can be dismissed. A few cannot. Whether these cases reveal something extraordinary or simply expose how little we understand about the human mind, they continue to spark debate around the world. And the stories you're about to hear are among the most unsettling of them all. Jenny Cockell. As a child in England, Jenny was haunted by memories that felt strangely real. She saw a modest home in Ireland, several children, and a life that didn't belong to her. The images never faded. Instead, they grew clearer with age. Jenny eventually became convinced she was remembering the life of a woman named Mary Sutton, a mother who had died while her children were still young. Most people would have left it there. Jenny did the opposite. She spent years tracing records across Ireland until she found evidence that Mary had actually existed. Then came the moment she never expected. She met members of the family she believed she had once left behind. For many people, that emotional reunion remains the most compelling part of the entire story. The Druze boy of the Golan Heights. At just 3 years old, a boy from a Druze village made a chilling accusation. He claimed he had been murdered in a previous life, and even named the person responsible. Adults assumed it was childish imagination until the boy led community members to a specific location. According to reports, a human skeleton was discovered there along with an old axe. The child had also pointed to a birthmark on his head, insisting it matched the wound that killed him. News of the story spread far beyond the region because it sounded more like a crime investigation than a reincarnation case. Even today, believers and skeptics continue arguing over what really happened. But few can deny how disturbing the account is. Imad Elawar. Before most children learned to read, Imad Elawar was talking about people he claimed were part of another life. Growing up in Lebanon, he repeatedly mentioned unfamiliar names and a village his family had no connection to. Relatives brushed it aside, hoping the stories would stop. They didn't. The older Imad became, the more details he shared. Eventually, researchers compared his statements with records from a nearby community. Several details appeared to match a deceased man who had lived there. When Imad later visited the village, witnesses said he recognized locations and people he should never have known. Maybe it was coincidence. Maybe it was something else. Either way, the case remains one of the most discussed examples in reincarnation research. Bridey Murphy. In the 1950s, one woman's strange memories became front-page news across America. During hypnosis sessions, Virginia Teague began speaking as an Irish woman named Bridey Murphy. She described streets, customs, and everyday life from another century with remarkable confidence. The story exploded in newspapers and magazines. Some people became convinced they were witnessing proof of reincarnation. Others launched investigations looking for ordinary explanations. The controversy quickly grew into a national obsession. Families debated it at dinner tables. Researchers argued over every detail. Decades later, the mystery still survives because neither side managed to settle the question completely. What started as a hypnosis session became one of the most famous reincarnation stories ever recorded. Nazih Al-Danaf. Another intriguing case emerged from Lebanon when a young boy began describing a life that appeared completely unrelated to his own. Nazih Al-Danaf spoke about people, places, and experiences with surprising certainty. Investigators documented his statements before attempting to verify them, a detail that made the case especially interesting. According to reports, many of his descriptions match the life of a deceased individual. Nazih also recognized people connected to that person, leaving witnesses deeply surprised. Cases like this attract attention because they involve details that can be checked rather than vague feelings or dreams. Yet every answer seems to create another question. And that uncertainty is exactly why the story continues to fascinate researchers today. Christian Haupt. Reincarnation stories are often associated with places where belief in past lives is common. That is what makes Christian Haupt's case stand out. Growing up in Germany, he reportedly began speaking about another identity and another existence that seemed disconnected from his own. The details were unusual enough to attract attention from investigators who searched for historical connections. Some of what Christian described appeared to correspond with a real deceased individual. Whether those similarities were meaningful remains open to debate. Still, the case challenged a common assumption. Similar stories appear in different countries, cultures, and backgrounds. That pattern has puzzled researchers for decades and keeps cases like Christian's alive long after the original reports faded from headlines. Andreas Espinosa. Unlike many famous cases, Andreas Espinosa's story didn't become an international sensation. Yet that is partly what makes it interesting. Growing up in the Philippines, he shared memories that seemed disconnected from anything in his daily life. He spoke about names, locations, and experiences that left relatives confused. As the years passed, the account remained surprisingly consistent. There were no television specials or massive media campaigns surrounding the case. Instead, it quietly circulated among researchers who found aspects of it difficult to dismiss. Sometimes the most intriguing mysteries are not the ones making headlines. They are the stories that remain largely unknown while continuing to raise questions nobody has fully answered. Swarnlata Mishra. When Swarnlata Mishra was still a child, she began talking about another family living far from her home. At first, the claims sounded impossible. Then she started providing names, personal relationships, and details about daily life. Curious investigators arranged contact with the family she described. According to witnesses, Swarnlata recognized several people and recalled information that surprised those present. What helped make the case famous was the sheer number of statements recorded over time. Researchers spent years examining the story, making it one of the most thoroughly documented reincarnation cases ever investigated. Supporters consider it powerful evidence. Critics remain unconvinced, yet decades later, the case continues to spark discussion around the world. The Watseka Wonder. Long before social media and 24-hour news cycles, one strange story captivated America. A young girl named Laurency Venom began behaving in ways that alarmed her family. She claimed to be a deceased woman named Mary Roth and reportedly displayed knowledge that seemed difficult to explain. Neighbors, doctors, and newspaper reporters soon became involved. The case quickly transformed into a national sensation. Some believed it was spirit possession. Others saw similarities to reincarnation. Whatever the explanation, the events left a lasting mark on paranormal history. More than 100 years later, people are still debating what happened inside that small Illinois community and whether there was a rational answer at all. Paul Gauci. In Malta, a young boy named Paul Gauci began sharing memories that appeared connected to a man who had died before Paul was born. Rather than focusing on one dramatic revelation, the case was built from many small pieces: familiar locations, personal habits, fragments of information that seemed oddly specific. Investigators attempted to verify these details and found enough similarities to keep the story alive. Cases like Paul's rarely provide clear conclusions. Instead, they leave a lingering sense of uncertainty. Perhaps that is why they remain so memorable. They sit in the uncomfortable space between coincidence and possibility, forcing people to decide for themselves what they believe. If this video left you questioning what's possible, you should watch our previous video about children who claimed to remember past lives. Some of those cases are even harder to explain than the ones you heard today. And if you enjoy dark mysteries and unexplained stories like this, consider subscribing to Dark Uncovered for more videos.